game, that some people that worked very, very hard for this program weren't recognized. And we, as a football office, gave it to the people to make sure that they were recognized. And there was an error on the administrative side that didn't allow these young men and women to be recognized as seniors. So I'd like, if you could, is to maybe write something or put in your column that, you know, these guys need to be recognized, because it's embarrassing to me, because they're part of our, you know, football family. We had the videos and everything for them to be shown on their pictures, just like they did with the cheerleaders and all that. And our administration, game day administration, dropped the ball. So our video guys that were seniors, Jordan Burgess, and Pat can get you the names in if you don't get them all, but Jordan Burgess, Meg Garcia, Greg Lupine, Chris Maddox, Carter Orsay, Matt Ortiz, and then from the equipment room, Sam Collins, Nick Lahara, Ricky Velasquez, and Joe Vanieri. And then our sports medicine seniors was Christian Batty and Akash Kumar. So those, you know, those guys and girls, ladies, men and young men and ladies do a great job. I mean, we wouldn't be able to function without their help and without their support. So, you know, I apologize to them, but again, it was something that we thought was going to take care of, and it wasn't. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but they, like I said, I have some tremendous amount of respect for what they do, the time and the effort that they put into it to, you know, make our program be as successful and make it run the way it wants to be run. And you know, the thing is, they take so much pride in what they do. You know, they're dedicated, they're committed, and I know they take the losses just like we do, you know, because they're part of the family. And I appreciate it very much. So, on to Temple. You know, Temple is a really good football team. You know, defensively, they're a very experienced team. They're not playing any freshmen, redshirt freshmen. They're playing one sophomore starter on defense. So, and it's an experienced unit. And, you know, like I said, when you take a look at Temple and you research them and their program, you know, they give their single-digit numbers to what they feel are the toughest guys on their team. And when you look at that, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, well, count number 10, 6 guys on defense who are wearing those numbers. So we're going to have a tremendous challenge, you know, offensively, you know, against them. And again, when you look at the number of grad transfers they have, or the grad students they have, the seniors that they have, the redshirt seniors, and then the redshirt juniors, you take a look at their program, look at how many of those guys are either redshirt guys or graduate guys. You know, and so you can see why, you know, they have been successful. They have developed that within their program. And so now they have the depth, and they're not forced to play a bunch of young kids like we are. And so, you know, now, you know, offensively, you see a few more younger guys there, but not a lot. And, you know, they have really good wide receivers, 2 quarterbacks that are very capable and do a good job. Matt Hennessy is an outstanding center. So, you know, again, very sound and solid in the special teams. So it's going to be, you know, a tremendous challenge for us if we go down there and play them on Saturday.
Injuries you can't control for the most part, but how are you seeing some of the guys in the defensive backfield play in practice and prepare this week? That you probably have to play a lot of reserves and newcomers.
Yeah, I mean, we'll still see if anybody, you know, it'll be a game time decision on some of those kids. But you know, you know, I don't worry too much anymore. Neil, it used to bother me when we had injuries a little bit, but now it doesn't, because I'm really excited and anxious to see how a young man, if he has to go in and play for somebody and he's playing for the first time, to see how he handles it. And I mean, because again, if you've recruited the right type of guys, they'll go in there and compete. you know, they'll go in and compete. And that's what you really want to see, because there's got to come a point in time, you know, when they're going to have to play. So, again, sometimes they have to play sooner than maybe what you would like when there's circumstances that you can't control. And so now it's going to be neat to see if guys do have to play, you know, how they will play. And that's why you try to get them to understand that they're one play away. You know, if you're a backup, or even if you're a fourth guy at a position, you might have to move over to one side or whatever. So you better make sure you prepare each and every day, because when your number's called, you better be ready to go, because if you're not, then you don't know when that number will get called again. So whoever has to play, I'm confident that they'll go in and give us their best effort and play well.
Rob King is one of those guys, and he had a 10-tackle game. How do you evaluate his progress and his game on Saturday?
You know, Rob is a smart football player. He understands the game. And he's anticipates things pretty well, you know, and communicates. And again, he's another guy that just has to get bigger and stronger. You know, he's just not big enough and strong enough yet. And but he's going out there and doing his job. And you know, you don't want to see your safeties making that many tackles, because that means something's happening, you know, up front, or you know, because we don't have him sitting, you know, right at the line of scrimmage all the time as a linebacker. But no, he's gone in and done a good job. He's gone in and executed his role, and there's still things that he has to develop and get better at.
Where have you seen some of the biggest improvements in your team this season?
I think there's improvements in pretty much every area. I really do. And you know, I think we're better throwing the ball. You know, we're better running the ball. I mean, hopefully we're going to have another 1,000-yard rusher this year. I mean, you see those young guys on the outside getting better. Jack's getting better. You know, it's interesting. There was a couple pro scouts that practiced today, and I didn't bring it up to them. They mentioned me. They told me, said, Randy, we can see, you know, how much better you are since the beginning of the year. And one guy says, yeah, he says, so many people just don't understand the process that you have to go through, you know, and what we've had to go through here to try to get to where we're going, and we still have work to do. But, you know, defensively, we've cut down on the number of missed tackles. You know, we haven't given up as many points. Again, we've given up some big plays, and then I think what happened to us, we were doing some good things defensively, and then I think we got wore down in that stretch of those 8 games. And then we came back last week and, you know, did some good things. Still gave up some big plays, but like I said, when you go and take a look at East Carolina the 2 weeks before, they're putting up 93 points in 2 games and 1,000 yards passing with 10 touchdowns. You know, we could have done better, but I would at least say we put ourselves in a position where we could win the game. I think we've been sound, pretty sound all year long on special teams. Because one of the things there is that we've been able to play the same guys the whole time on those teams. You know, and Luke's a steady guy. Keating's very, very steady. I mean, and you know, Clay has had his moments as a kicker. Mason came in and has done a good job from, you know, that standpoint in terms of kickoffs. But we've been very sound and solid, other than, you know, the block punt that we had. So again, I think there's improvements in every area. Is it where I want it to be? No. But, you know, the good thing is I think we're trending in the right direction. You know, we're trending upward, we're not trending downward. And I think that's the whole key. And, you know, hopefully we'll be able to continue that again this weekend.
Is it where you thought you'd be progression-wise, Randy, at this point?
I don't know, Joe. I mean, you'd love to, you know, I sit here and, you know, yeah, I want to win more games. But again, I think the thing is, it's one of those, sometimes And again, haven't been through this before, and at other places, even when I was an assistant coach, this is just one of those things, you can't rush Mother Nature. And what I mean by that is, when these guys come in here, we're not gonna give them steroids, and make them, they gotta go through the process of hard work and learn that. And, again, I'm happy with the progress that individuals are showing. I'm not happy that we don't have more wins. Not happy with that. But again, until we can get to where we're playing a lot of, like Temple, you see all those guys that are redshirt and develop them. That's what we have to do. We haven't been able to do that yet with a lot of these guys. So, once we are able to redshirt these guys, a lot of these guys shouldn't be on the field until like their third year, until they're a sophomore, is what you really, again, if they're skill guys are a little bit different, but those linemen, they need the time to get bigger and stronger. And if you rush that, if they have to play, then there's been a problem, somewhere along the line.
Is it rushing for over 1,000 yards mean a little bit more now when teams are passing so much more?
I don't know, Gavin. I just kind of take a look at it, and I thought about that. I said, because you say, okay, you got 12 games, and if you had 10, that's an average of 100 yards a game. That's pretty good. Now with 12, it's a little bit less than that. But like I said, with who we're playing, and like I said, some of the times it stacked the box against us, and makes it a little bit more difficult to run. So, we can get if Kevin can get over that. I think it is. I think it's anytime you run. Because how many guys are going to rush for 1,000 yards this year? Take a look in the country. How many guys are there? I don't think there's anybody. Could be wrong. I don't know if there's anybody we played against that's going to do that.
What area did Jack improve the most on Randy Saturday that allowed him to have a game that he had?
I just thought he went out there and played and didn't, when a bad play happened, he didn't let it phase him. He just moved on to the next one. And, I thought that was something that was really good for him. And again, I think the one thing is when you see that on the one play, the 94-yarder, when he tells, Cam that, hey, zero coverage, and knowing that if we had that, they were going to make that adjustment, and they made it. He made it before the snap of the ball and told him, and he knew he was getting pressure and got rid of the ball. Now, there are some other things there that, just like on the fourth down play at the end of the game, I think if Cam got across and he didn't get picked, he might have hit him and got in there, but sometimes you got to see that and then maybe take the shot to Kevin and let him go, and then, but again, you're going to have those mistakes. You guys, a lot of you guys, have been around. Look at Orlowski when he was a freshman, true freshman, playing. I don't know if he ever threw for 418 yards. He was a true freshman. But it's the day and age that we live in. Everybody wants instant gratification, and everybody thinks that everybody's supposed to be this superstar all the time. But, my biggest thing is for him to be able to handle the game. And I thought he did a better job of taking what they gave him.
What can you say about the role Lou Spanos has played this year in taking the defense kind of to a next step?
Well, I think that, Lou brings a lot of energy and knowledge to the program and, for the kids, and I think that we executed at a pretty good level. Again, we've given up too many plays, but everything, and I'm not saying we weren't before, but again, I think what happened is these kids are a year older, and he tried to keep everything as concise and as simple, as possible. And then I think that, the one thing is we still have some guys that still have to improve, but he's done a good job of, bringing that energy and bringing enthusiasm and, doing the things there. Now, we just got to keep developing the guys. I think guys have developed, under him and the way he approaches things, and that's something, that we just got to continue.
Conversely, how would you assess Frank's first year as offensive coordinator?
I think Frank's done a good job. I think he's done a good job. Again, there's some things there that we've had to go through offensively with all those young guys. And again, anytime you're playing that many young guys, up there, it makes it a little bit difficult. But I thought he's done a really good job.
Kind of a unique situation, obviously, but what are your feelings on leaving the American Conference? Are you disappointed to kind of lose that affiliation and that, I don't know, it's camaraderie or whatever?
Well, I addressed that yesterday on the conference call. I just think it's a very good league. I think it's a very good league. I think there's really good players in this league. I think there's really good coaches in this league. I don't think this league gets the respect that it deserves. And I don't know if it ever will because of the way things are set up. And it's not geared towards the group of five. This is a college football playoff is all geared towards the Power Five, and there's a little caveat in there that says the highest ranked guy will be in a New Year's Six bowl. I don't know what Central Florida did and can't get in. I worry about the AAC and all the Group of Five conferences because I think at some point in time, probably I think within the next 10 years, the Power Fives are going to go off on their own. Then the Group of Five will be a whole division of their own. And then they'll probably play for a playoff. That's looking into the crystal ball, down the road. But no, now there's some other aspects of the AAC in terms of the football part that I'm not real happy with. But, those guys usually wear stripes. No, I don't. But as far as, like I said, I have a tremendous amount of respect for all the schools that we've had to compete against and all the players and the coaches. And, the biggest thing is that, and I'm sure you guys will attest to this, but, you guys are out of a lobster dinner now.
I'm going to go anyways.
Clinton out in Rhode Island, so I don't know what you guys are going to do now. So.
You're not going to host one here?
Huh?
You're not going to host one here?
You never know, Joe. If we do, it'll be bigger than better than that.
Write it down.
But we don't have the Viking Hotel that we put up now. The other hotel we went to, that was because, but no, like I said, I have a tremendous amount of respect, and I think it's a much better football conference than what people will give it credit for. And you talk about where that conference started, and I wasn't here when that conference started, but where that started to where it is today, there's a significant improvement and a significant jump. And as I said yesterday, I agree wholeheartedly with everything that Commissioner Resco said, last week, in terms of the letter that he put out, how he thought there was a double standard. I agree with that wholeheartedly because I think there is. I think there is bias towards that, and I don't know how we're going to change that. And I don't know how I don't see the powers to be wanting to change it.
So why do you think this conference has gotten better over the last few years? Why are better players coming, better coaches coming to this league? Any idea?
Well, coaches are coming and leaving, and it's the way that people build their programs, and it's a testament to play. It's first of all, it's all about the players. And anything you do, it's all about the players. You got to have the players to be able to get it done, and there's really good players in this league. And Central Florida, what they've done down there, and you see that, and I just think that what guys have done is they've had a little bit of maybe a chip on their shoulder to say, hey, we got to go prove something when we have to play against, say, some of the Power Five schools, and really, what they'll all have to do, in my opinion, they're all going to have to try to play more Power Fives and try to schedule the Power Fives. But sometimes that's difficult because they just want to make it a money game, and they don't want to play a home and home, or they want to make a 2-for-1. So, but when you're in that situation that, you know, the AAC is, sometimes you might have to do some of those things, and in order to try to accomplish, you know, what you want to accomplish.
No,
And, you know, and again, you know, the one thing that's different, you know, that's different about football than basketball is the fact that, you know, basketball, you're making those schedules up year to year. And so you know what your team is. In football, you have no idea. I mean, when you have games scheduled out to 2025 and 2026, you have no idea how good that team is going to be. You have no idea how good you're going to be. And it seems like people get penalized sometimes because they might make a game with somebody, and then all of a sudden, in that one particular year, that team's not as good. And that ends up being a detriment to rankings or standings, you know, of those schools, which isn't right, because you don't know that in terms of how far out football's scheduled.
given you had to scramble it for your, a little bit for your schedule for next year, how do you like how your schedule came out for next season?
I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
I'm just focused on Temple and
Got it.
the AAC. That's another day, another time.
Okay. Very good.
All right.
Good. Thank you.